Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. So, I've got a bow review for you guys today. So, this is the bow that I am going to be reviewing. This is the AF Archery Tatar bow, or Tatar, or whatever you want to call it. It's not the only AF Archery bow I have. The one I got prior to this was the Manchu King bow. You may have seen a video of it. I was shooting it for the first time, and then more recently I had used the Shatterproof Archery strings, and I also got one for this bow as well. I don't really like the endless loop strings. I think most people who, have been into archery for a while much prefer the Flemish twist. It's just, it tends to perform better. It tends to be a lot less of the vibrations and stuff. I mean, obviously, there's a lot of things you can do to dissipate some of that, like with the brace height and whatnot. But anyway, so you can just briefly go over the specs of this bow. And the reason why I'm in my car is because there's a bunch of other people using the range too, and I don't want to distract them with my talking. So I'll just kind of film myself shooting the bow, and then we'll get to our kind of final thoughts anyway. But, so, this is a, it looks wooden here, but that's actually fiberglass lamination. It looks like wood, definitely from afar you would think, oh well, this is obviously a wooden bow, but there is some bamboo core here and a few other organic, I believe that's bone there. And these, they're kind of like seas, but not really. They're actually like all the way a part of the bow, and seas tend to be something that are actually connected and then bound with like twine or something, and then yeah. But anyway, so it's a very nice looking bow, and fortunately I don't have much room in my car here, so I kind of can just flip it around. It's basically the same. But yeah, oh, and by the way, this is the Shatterproof Archery Invincible bowstring, in case you haven't seen my other one where I had it for my AF Archery Manchu King bow. But this is the, AF Archery Tatar. And this is 30-inch straw, and it's got a, let me try to maneuver this as much as I can. It has a nice leather wrap for the handle here. It did have kind of these white inlays, sort of where the arrow pass would be. I decided to wrap it with leather here so that it wouldn't scrape against the bow, and not only would it mess up the bow, but it's just the scraping sound is irritating. So it's going to be much more smoother going past the leather there. So yeah, so it's a nice looking bow, and this will be my first time shooting it. I'll shoot it Mediterranean first, and then I'll do the thumb draw, and then probably do some more shooting, and we'll see how we'll go from there. So let's get to it. So yeah, obviously I still tried using the thumb tab for whenever I do the, more Asiatic kind of, and I mean, technically, I guess, I don't know exactly where the Tatar comes from. I didn't really read up too much on that. I think it's either Turkish or some other, like, but yeah, all I know is that it's got the same kind of similar style to a lot of other Eastern bows, Middle Eastern bows, kind of sort of thing. And also, I guess I should mention what my arrows are. These are gold tip traditionals. The shafts are 30 inches, and the field point here is 100 grains. And I've got the shield cut fletchings here, and I got a Boeing smooth release knock, and I put these together by myself. I just kind of order the shafts and make sure that they're cut to where the length that I want them, and then the fletchings as well. And these are 600 spine. There. Anyway, so yeah, it's kind of upside down there. But yeah. Anyway, so I did the best I could with calculating for the draw weight and the spine of the arrow. Just so that, there'd be at least some kind of consistency. But as you can see, it was kind of all over the place. The very last time with the Mediterranean draw, I noticed that, it kind of depends on where I'm gripping the bow, because for a while I was kind of just gripping it again, we gotta move this around. So whenever I gripped it, I was kind of gripping it so that, let's see if we can try that. There we go. So I was kind of gripping pretty much right about there and not really leaving a whole lot of space. So the whole handle wrap was probably, covered from there. But whenever I was down here, it was a lot more consistent, because obviously that would mean the arrow is a little bit higher. And with bows, you want to make sure that the arrow is at least a little bit higher than just straight on, because that's actually not what you want to do, especially with bows that have shelves. You kind of just want to you want to make sure that the knocking point is set at least you have the bow T-square thing where you can where it kind of helps you decide where to move it and such. But anyway, so I've kind of it's kind of something you have to mess around with there. In terms of any kind of hand shock, I mean, it's not even that heavy of a draw weight. It's 30, and at 28, and I guess when you pull it back a little further, it's more like 30 something. Probably a little over 30. It depends. When you draw it back, that's where the stacking comes from, and it's a heavier draw weight. But there wasn't really much in terms of anything really. It's just it took a bit getting used to, and it seems like I'm still more proficient in the Mediterranean draw. So again, I tried using the thumb tab for the thumb draw and stuff like that, but I might try to use thumb rings for that and see if it's still something that I want to do. I mean, whenever I have my Manchu bow, it's and frankly, I probably didn't even really need that much protection, because my Manchu bow is 35, and that doesn't really cause me too much pain on my thumb. I mean, I still probably should wear some kind of thumb protection. And obviously I had my 3-finger glove for shooting Mediterranean. I used to shoot quite a bit three under for a while. I did start out with just the regular Mediterranean, and then I kind of progressed, whenever I upped the draw weight, I did like three under because it was a lot easier to do that. Because whenever I did like Mediterranean with like my 60-pound Samick Sage, it was very easy to pinch the knock, and that's what really can throw your shot off. And we don't, we got to be careful with that. So doing the three under was a little bit easier because it didn't matter if I was because they're supposed to be together like this when you're like three under. And of course, you still want to make sure there's space between the bottom of the knocks, just a little bit, not like to the point of like a fixed crawl or string walking like they do in like the barebow archery competitions. But anyway, so let's get back on topic. The AF Archery Tatar bow. It's pretty fun. Sorry. Again, with the whole being in the car, there's not a whole lot space to maneuver. But yeah, it's a pretty nice bow, and I definitely recommend if you want something that's kind of on the Asiatic style thing. And this isn't too terribly expensive. I don't really want to say what the exact amount that I paid, but I got it from Amazon, and I kind of don't want to mention the price because sometimes those they can, like, for certain retailers they might try to increase the price, and so I kind of just want to but just say that it was it was less than $200. Let's just say that. It was definitely cheaper than my Manchu King bow from AF Archery. But yeah, it was pretty fun to shoot. Definitely still getting kind of used to really shooting bows, because as I mentioned before, I mostly have been shooting recurves, with the shelf and everything, and this one, it just has an arrow pass and no shelf. But anyway, so that's all I have for you guys today. So be sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel, and consider supporting me on Patreon, and yeah, follow me on my other social medias. And anyway, I'll catch you guys later. Bye.